Okay, welcome back, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today we're talking about iPads and kids, right? I think we're all aware of this growing trend among the new generation where kids are kind of growing up with these iPads, and pretty much a lot of parents have decided that, hey, it's just kind of easier to let my kid sit on an iPad all day instead of trying to actually, entertain them by physical means or keep them busy by playing games with them. And, this has spawned a massive debate over on Twitter. Is it okay to let your kid sit on an iPad, and are parents just becoming lazy? And are kids becoming these obnoxious, spoiled iPad children? Let's find out. Also, before we start, I just gotta get this out of the way. Me personally, okay, I would have loved to be an iPad child, okay? Because, playing games all day, watching YouTube, hell yeah, man. But listen, I don't know the effect it has on kids or whatever. Maybe I would have grown up differently or whatever. But I pretty much grew up with different gadgets. Like obviously iPads weren't there back then, but I had the Game Boy, the Nintendo DS, the Atari, some video game console where I played Contra and Super Mario Bros. But yeah, I'd like to think that I had a happy and enjoyable upbringing. But I don't know, man. Sometimes, I remember when I was in high school, I used to see those kids in school buses on iPads. And some of them were so obnoxious, man. You just wanted to, pretty much some of them were spoiled, okay? So you kind of need a balance, okay? But, yeah, subscribe if you're new. We're trying to get a 500k subs. It would mean a lot to me. And yeah, let's begin. Okay, so it all started by this person tweeting out, "I refuse to have iPad children." She follows this up by saying, "I'm not judging iPad parents. I know that we're in lockdown. I'm literally 20. I'm not planning on having any kids for a good while. I'm addicted to my phone myself, and I'm hoping that this is a trend my generation can break with our children. I would have hated if my childhood was filled with a screen rather than my toys and imagination." Okay, we are opposites here. "iPads can be useful for children in moderation. I also have developed headaches and eye twitches from looking at a screen too much during lockdown and don't want this to happen to my kids." And then she finishes off by saying, "Again, you can all raise your kids how you like. I'm not judging. This is just how I personally would like to plan and raise mine. I think I'm entitled to at least an opinion of my own life and what I'd like to do." Okay, that's a pretty interesting opinion. I feel like it's pretty obvious that every child is different. No child is built the same. If you're like me, you'd love the iPad, and I feel like, okay, I don't mean to brag, okay, but I feel like back then, I was a bit more mature than the kids around me. I was always oh, look at these cavemen around me, dude. Okay, listen, I feel like I could have controlled myself, all of that. Some kids can't do that, I don't know. If you're one of those toy kids, maybe you'd prefer toys and you wouldn't like the iPad or whatever, but in general, majority of kids like the iPad. It's just a matter of balance, right? I feel like iPads are like fire, dude. What did the cavemen do? They got burned a few times, but then after that, they learned that, hey, I can use this epic raging fire to cook my food, to keep me warm, to do all this other epic stuff. Similarly, I'd like to think iPads can be used to entertain your child, to teach your child, to make them acquainted with technology, to give them access to the internet where they can learn a lot of things, some bad, some good. But at the same time, if you let them overindulge, they might become quite hard to deal with. If you can't take away the iPad at any time, there's probably a problem. I'm not talking about in the middle of a movie or something, but if you can't take the iPad away, that's gonna be a problem. The kid should be able to live without it, at least for an hour. If he starts crying without it, that's a problem. If he's one of them obnoxious bus kids, that's a problem. You can play in the bus, okay? It's just man, they had this vibe to them. They would always spit. Their iPads were dirty, and they would just man, I don't know how to describe it. I don't want to dunk on some kids, so I'm gonna stay away from that. But yeah, just use it as a tool rather than a necessity. Pretty much, they should be able to fully enjoy the perks of living in a digital age, but shouldn't be fully reliant on it, if you know what I mean. Now, a lot of people replied with this opinion saying, until you've went through almost 1 year of lockdown with kids, please don't judge iPad parents. God bless Apple. Pretty much they're saying that unless you're a parent yourself, you wouldn't understand how hard it is to deal with kids. This person says, I said that before I had a child too. Somebody also mentioned the price of an iPad. Worst bit about it is people spending over £1,000 on a piece of tech for their kids. I wouldn't even spend that on myself. Now listen, I haven't bought an iPad recently or anything, but I don't think it's £1,000, right? I'm pretty sure it's way cheaper, like maybe 400, 300. And honestly, there's one more thing you're implying here that kind of makes you a bad parent. You're saying, I wouldn't even spend that on myself, but I'd spend it on my kids. How is that a bad thing? Like, parents pay for college. I don't think they're spending that much on themselves. You should be spending more on your kids than yourself. I feel like that's a sign of a good parent, right? I think if you're spending more on your kids, it shows that you care. I mean, maybe you're just buying to get them off your chest or something. In that case, obviously not. But in general, if you're spending money on something, you probably care about it. So if you care about yourself more than your kids, I don't know, dude. Now listen, this part I can kind of agree with. Or YouTube Kids. I would not put my children on YouTube Kids, dude. You are watching normal YouTube. Like, if you have a child, let them watch some Pegasus videos, bro. I'm sorry. YouTube Kids is just... It's just like, what do you want them to watch? Coco Melon, dude? Do you want them to watch freaking Coco Melon, dude? They should be watching some PewDiePie, some Pegasus, some epic videos. Here we have a very funny tweet. Somebody said, personally, I'm not gonna let my children use electronics. We will wake up at dawn to the sound of the rooster's screech. They will proceed to milk the goats. The boys will leave to scavenge food, while the girls will clean the house. When the boys return from the hunt, they will cut wood for the fire to keep us warm. The girls will then knit our clothes with their bare hands. Once knitting is done, the girls will tend the garden and the boys will build fences. They will attend school in a single classroom taught by one teacher. For fun, they will sit and look out of the window if there's time. When they turn 8, the boys will work in a factory. The girls will have children at the age of 12 to a man that they didn't choose. We will all die by the age of 30 due to disease. I refuse to be an iPad parent. Now, this person just made like a non-argument. So you want technologically illiterate children? They take computer-based tests and do computer-based learning in kindergarten, and this was pre-virus. Limits should be set, but tech is important. That's not what they said, is it? My daughter gets our phone for a max of 2 hours a day. Rest of the time we are painting, doing puzzles, playing some sort of sport outside, going on walks, house chores, helping us cook. It takes a lot of time and effort, but worth it. Listen, if I was your daughter, I would be depressed. I need at least 8 hours of, maybe 10. Okay. Maybe 16 hours of phone per day, okay? I don't know, that's just me. Listen, I mean, you're making your kids do all this different stuff like painting, puzzles, and sports. Every single one of these sounds boring to me, but that's just me, okay? Maybe some people might enjoy it, but I feel like you're doing the essentially the same thing. You're forcing your kid to do something. I don't know, maybe I'd be a bad parent, but I feel like I'd let my kids do whatever they want to. I feel like if it's my kid, it's probably a genius anyway, so yeah, if you want to play on the iPad, do it, dude. Start a YouTube channel, age 2 Ryan Toys review, dude. Just kidding. I'm not gonna do that, obviously. It takes a lot of time and effort. That's the part that most of these parents are trying to skip. Exactly. If you're literally a full-grown adult, how do you have all this time to go play sports, do paintings, do puzzles? Oh my god, get a job, god damn it. This person says, a lot of these comments make me realize that y'all want kids until you realize that you're supposed to play with them and do engaging activities with them. Okay, I will agree that a lot of people don't know what they're signing up for, but iPads are not just a bad thing, okay? They are pretty really, really good, honestly. It's just You don't need to make them zombies, glued to the screen. Some people are expressing the hardship of single parents, we'd like to take a freaking shower, cook a meal, study, or even just have a second to have a mental breakdown in the bathroom for 5 minutes. I refuse to be a judgmental mom about what other mothers do with their kids in order to get through their days, but the original poster literally said, this is my opinion, I don't care what you do with your kids. Now, don't you forget we're talking about Twitter.com, so there's obviously somebody who gets really offended. I don't know what the frickin' iPad child is, but many disabled children rely on iPads for communication, soothing, and more. Yeah, that's what they were talking about. Both of my children get lots of iPad time, are 2+ grades ahead, love to go outdoors, and love books. So yeah, you basic, educate yourself. Oh my god, this post oozed so much cringe. I can't, first off, you're bragging about your children like a prize, oh, they're 2+ grades ahead. Anyone who says educate yourself, slap them in the face. Dude, 99% of the time I hear this phrase, I want to slap the person in their face. You educate yourself, you absolute moron! I was the same way until my autistic son started acting out in public because he needed stimulation and couldn't sit still for a while without entertaining himself. It looks weird, we were in the restaurant with him and an iPad propped up, but everyone around us can eat in peace because of it. Honestly, that's not weird at all. I would always bring my Game Boy everywhere, always restaurants, airplanes, trains, everything. It's just fun to play. I used to play Pokemon and level up my Pokemon everywhere. This person made a good point. It's an exception if your child needs it and they have conditions, and you shouldn't feel bad in any way, but when the original poster said iPad kids, there's a lot of parents who simply don't want to engage because they want to do their own thing. So an iPad gets shoved in their face for 5+ hours a day. It's so lazy. Okay. 5 hours are rookie numbers, okay? Let's talk 15 hours is probably bad, okay? That's just my opinion. I feel like this situation might require a Pegasus audience perspective because, obviously, everybody that's not subbed to me is 0 IQ and probably sucks on their own thumb, okay? So I want your guys' opinions, dude. Let me know in the comments below. I'll be reading them as usual. Would you have iPad children? I feel like I would, but, not to a great extent. Whatever. Pretty interesting parenting topic. I feel like I learned a bit. Okay, smash a like, subscribe. Have a wonderful day ahead, dude. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. See you guys next time. Bye.